Welcome to Pop's Open Mic. This is session 1 on Sunday, August 18th, 2024. We haven't had one for a long time, so happy to have all of you participants with me today. It's wonderful to see you all. I'm very excited to hear the wonderful works that you have. My name's Annette Tarpley, the host and the founder of the Passion of Poetry. And Chyrel J. Jackson is going to host round 2. Usually there's 3 rounds where we present our works. So I'm going to kind of go through the lineup on who we have with us today. And some people are having technical difficulties, and that's always the case when we do live. So we just kind of go with it. But we have, of course, Chyrel J. Jackson. She's one of the admin for POP and also a co-host round 2 today. We have Elizabeth Ogunmodidi from Nigeria. Gul Bakhti isn't here yet. He's having some problems getting on. We have the lovely and talented Jill Sharon Kimmelman. And we have my dog in the background too, just in case you wanted to know. We have Khalid, Sulaimon, and Maria, Evelyn Quilla, Soleta. She hasn't joined us yet. And then Saurav, Anand, and Thomas McArthur, and Brian Donald James. So welcome to everyone, and thank you so much for joining. I just want to remind everyone to please keep your mics muted until it is your turn, and I will call in the order that, Gul's here, there we go. And I will call in the order that people have signed on today. And so we have just about everybody here. We're just missing one person, and we'll just go on and continue. So the first person that I'm going to introduce is actually Chyrel, because she was the first one to sign on today. So Chyrel, if you would please unmute your mic and present your wonderful word art with us, or to us, and we will listen with eager ears here.
The first poem I'm going to do is Enchanted Hips. I bear witness and reaffirm Lucille's words. There is magic in these hips. Childbearing hips, narrow and sometimes wide hips. Children rearing hips. Protesting, teaching, marching, and resisting hips. Correcting hips, nurturing, switching, strutting, mesmerizing, hypnotic, curvy hips, captivating, fascinating, commandment-loving hips, charming hips. I declare there is wizardry in these hips. Vice President and Supreme Court Justice hips, Speaker of the House, and I'm reclaiming my time hips, legislative, historical hips. Lucille, I celebrate your words today and every day. Hereafter, these bowed and perfectly round hips have brought men to their knees throughout the annals of time. There is enchantment in these magical, spherical hips. Poem.
And I remember that poem about hips. We did that, didn't we, when we did our little panel. Um,
That is just one of my favorite poems. So I just
I
had to
loved
do
it. I loved it. I could so relate to it because I got hips. So, I was like, whoa, we're celebrating hips today. Good. So yeah, I love that. I love that poem. And that's when we did, I think was it January or February we did it, and we were
we def-
celebrating Black writers and poets, and yeah, it was a great
yeah,
session.
we definitely did it in
And
February.
my dog even liked it.
Ah,
She's probably got hips as well. So so Cheryl, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Next we have Jill Sharon Kimmelman. Where are you, my friend? There you are. So good to see you. I miss you.
I miss you. Thank you, everybody. I'm assuming we're reading one poem at a time, right?
Yes, at each round we'll present one poem.
Okay. And it is just very briefly my great honor to be here. I haven't done an open mic with Passion of Poetry in far too long. So thank you, Annette, for the warm welcome. I live in Wilmington, Delaware, in the US, and don't hold it against me, but 2 blocks away from my mom's house is the Biden's house. But love it or not, he won't be president next time. Okay, this poem is about all lives matter. I wrote this poem, I wish I never had, in response to the stabbing deaths of 3 young children and 2 adults in Southport in the UK. And it was heartbreaking to see this news, to take it in, to feel it, to be so angry. And this is the poem that I wrote. Peace now, more than ever, all lives matter. Squandering time in cerebral circles, debating the subtleties that mystify. Like Talmudic scholars with flowing beards and forelocks, they pore over our laws and loopholes to justify their actions and, even worse, their inaction. They are charged with ending the violence, to find a way to restructure our world for nonviolence, to end the quaking, shaking, and fearsome changes each new day delivers, to fully embrace benefits that once drove our ancestors to seek refuge and individual freedoms. Between scholars who whisper their questions so softly, only God hears their pleas, and vigilant soldiers following orders to burn, assault, erase any semblance of those who fight back. We need peace in remote villages, in our cities, Cooler heads must prevail. New lessons must be learned and passed on. What we value now must change. New, if we are to pass on this planet to our children's children with confidence of its survival, education, faith, and a worldwide commitment to nonviolence must begin today.
Good morning, ma. Yeah.
It was beautiful, Sharon. And I can tell you that I did a poem with the same title and got in a lot of trouble. It's the only time that it exploded. It was the wrong time to do it, and it was meant in love. But I got a lot of feedback from that title. So it was the wrong time for me, but that was beautiful as always, my friend. Um,
Thank you
your
very much.
work is beautiful. Make sure you tell Tim hello for me, by the way.
I absolutely will. You saw that massive, so you
Is,
know he's in heaven.
is Tim home?
He's been home since most recently from the last hospital stay. He's been home about 6 weeks.
Oh, good.
For
Hey, Tim. Hope you're doing well, bud.
well,
So, let me
this,
see. I'm gonna have. I'm sorry. Do you want to say something, Jill?
I just wanted to say that this poem, most recently, in addition to the children in the UK, um, in our country, at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, in Douglas High School just a few years ago in Florida. Mass shootings have now been redefined. We don't even hear about them if they're less than three. We now have an official mass shootings in our country, the USA, for 4 or more deaths. It's a tragic time to live, and I pray we figure out a way before we give our children and our children's children the hell of the world we're in now. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Indeed. Thank you. It's beautiful. So, so next up, we're going to Scotland. My dear friend Thomas McArthur, if you could unmute your mic, please. And Thomas is a poet as well as a lyricist and got me into writing songs after I interviewed him on a pop chat that night. I said, I'm going to go write a song. So thank you for that, Thomas. Mine aren't nearly as good as yours. You've done how many songs now?
My 25th album is coming out now in 3 years. It's when I found I can start writing, when I discovered my awakening.
Wow, that's
So,
amazing.
so I've got 3 albums
Amazing.
coming out now. So 25 altogether at the moment. But
Very
your
good.
songs are absolutely fantastic, Annette.
Oh, well, I try. One of these days,
Yeah,
I hope to write one I really say,
yeah.
oh, that was a good one. So
I mean,
I'm a novice.
yeah.
So Thomas also has written how many? Did you ever hear back from the Guinness Book of World Records about your?
Yeah, that 63 Jacobite songs, the Guinness Book of Records said because it's not a competition, it's they can't class it as as a world record. It needs to be some kind of competition. So never mind. Who someone's got the mic on. There's often noise.
Yeah, let me
Children.
take care. I'll take care of that.
Yeah,
Okay. So I think you've
yeah,
got the stage, my friend. If
yeah.
you want to grace
I,
us with your work.
Yeah, I want to say also about the killing in it was in England where this shootings were done, not in Scotland. So I just want to say that because a lot of people think that the UK is a country when it's not. It's a political union. So the killings are in England, not in Scotland. I just wanted to let that know as well. I wrote this song for this poem. It's a family member of mine who was suffering, who's got terminal cancer. And this poem's been written into a song. It's been sung twice or 3 times by 3 different people. But it was a poem at the beginning. A lot of people affected with cancer. So this was probably the hardest, darkest poem I can write because it comes from the heart. Most like all poems come from the heart, you know what I mean? So I'm going to play a little bit of music with it. Hopefully it'll work. Let's see if this plays. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if you can hear that, but okay. Dark times. When times are hard and dark, don't feel alone. Shadows are falling, darkness calling, pulling you into deep sorrow will show its face. No, no, you need to think bright. Walk into the light. I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go. Cancer is grabbing you, taking you away. Please, please don't go. Chemo will make you live for another day, for you to stay. Can I say I love you? Darkness is taking hold. I will burn a candle for you to see the light. Have the fight. See the flame to bring you home. I feel your pain. I cry, don't you die, don't you fall into the hole. Grab onto my soul. I'll make you whole. Share my heart. You're part of that. Are you seeing my energy? It's a beam. My voice is calling you back from the dark. Listen to my heart. See the spark. Don't you leave me. Don't you go. I know you're not ready to call it a day. You will fight with all your vitality to subdue this cancer in you. We all love you. End of poem.
Thank you, thank you. Is that one of your quad ones?
That's called the Dark Times. It's been written. It's been sung by a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wrote recently wrote the one about the plane crash, which I can't watch the video, you know.
Yeah, that was
Um,
you inspired that one, Annette,
yeah.
because someone close to you had this. So I never mentioned your name, but I just said a close friend inspired me. So and then when I start to write, it's funny how the song takes a different direction, and it ends up with something else.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mute him because I'm afraid he won't be able to unmute, but Sulaimon Khalid, can you hear me?
Ma.
Sulaimon,
Yes, ma.
you are up
Yes,
next,
ma.
my dear. We would like to hear you recite. And where are you from? Where are you from, my dear?
Yes, I'm from Nigeria.
Very good, very good. If you would like to recite your piece, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, ma. Thanks for the opportunity, ma. Yes. Firstly, my name is Sulaimon Khalid, and I want to read one of my poem. Yes, and the poem is titled "Overwhelmed."
Okay, I think you're froze. You're frozen. Um, okay, we can see you now. Go ahead.
and the poem is titled Overwhelmed. Okay, now this is it. Overwhelmed. The struggle is real. Got me down, makes me ill. Everyone I rely on left. All of a sudden, only me carrying the burden. Now I'm carrying the burden of others. In agony, I'm flooded with the emotion of others. For their joy or sadness, I'm responsible. I'm left alone in a situation that is irresistible. In pain, I'm losing my credential. Now I'm fading, nothing to claim again as potential. Hoping for strength, but I can't see. But the tears of my kids never cease. My thoughts are no more relevant. My soul is unrest. The burden, which are not to carry, but I will try my best. That's it, man. Yes, I think I'm through with it. That is just it.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. That was wonderful. And thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it. So we are going to go
Thank you.
on to our, just a second. We're going to go on to our next poet, and that will be Sharav Anand. You are up next. If you would please unmute your mic and recite for us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Annette. I hope I'm audible to everybody.
There's an echo. I think you turned on twice somewhere. I see you twice. Let me see if I can kick you out of here.
Okay, is it better now?
It is now because I just
Is
kicked
it
your.
better now? Am I
Yeah,
audible to everybody?
yeah. I just kicked your other entity out. I think you were signed in twice, so you can go ahead. It sounds good now. Thank you.
Am I audible, Annette?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Are you froze? Let me see. Believe he's frozen. So we will go back to you, sir. We're going to move on, and we'll come back to him in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and mute just in case, but we're going to move on to our next poet, who is Brian Donald James from the U.S. And I'm so glad to have you and so glad you joined us today. A marvelous poet who has won an award from the United Nations. So you, my friend, have done much, and I would love, as well as everyone else, to hear your beautiful poetry.
Okay, thank you for asking me to participate. I know that you like this poem "Blind," so I figured I would start with that. Can you hear me? Everything is fine, audio?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing this one.
Absolutely. Blind. Yet even when I close my eyes and fall into the abstract art ablaze in color against my inner blackness, your image beckons through. An outline etched in a vivid shade. In stellar points of light, I see you, like moonbeams on the dark seas of my mind. And on this shoreline of eternity, I stand on notice, on the abyss of an endless void. As you ebb and flow with my pulse, you are the pattern of my heartbeat. And when I close my eyes, I find myself almost wishing to be blind, only to touch you in new dimensions and make love to you in new depths, go deeper than thy flesh. I want to know thy essence, the destination where marrow and bone are replaced by stardust and cosmos, where your soul is free. I want to know you there, my love. And yes, I would choose to remain blind, to be forever cast in ebony, save for your likeness, save for your image. Yes, this would be the better blessing, indeed, my heaven. In peace. Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing that. You know I love that poem.
Thank
Um,
you.
and that was written for your wife, right?
Yes, yes, many years ago.
Very good, very good. Um, many years ago, as in 10, 20? What are we talking?
Well, we've been married about 35 years. So
Wow.
somewhere
Good for you.
somewhere up in there. And of course, as I discussed with you when I was on your show prior, inspired by Lord Byron, Percy Shelley, Emily Bronte, writers of that ilk that I read when I
Mm.
was a preteen, just discovering poetry.
Yeah, and I love those writers. Yeah, that's great. Wonderful, wonderful work. So thank you so much. We are going to go on to our next poet. And actually, Saurav, can you unmute yourself and we'll try to come back to you? Saurav, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself and we'll go back to you?
Yeah, am I audible now? Can you all
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can, but I'm not sure if I'm audible. Yeah.
You are audible. We can hear you.
Can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can, but I'm not sure if I'm audible. Yeah.
So we can hear
Okay,
you. We can
sure.
hear.
Sure. So, first of all, Annette, I'd like to thank you. Sure.
Okay, whenever you're ready, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so the first poem that I'm going to cover today is based on a slightly melancholic or sad theme, which is death. Yeah, so the first poem that I'm going to cover today is based on a slightly melancholic or sad theme, which is death.
So you need to shut
Yeah,
off
so first point
the
that
live
I'm going to
event
cover
from
today
wherever you
is
have it up because there's
slightly
feedback.
melancholic or sad.
So if you have the live event up, yeah. So if you have the event up on YouTube or whatever, you need to shut it off because we can hear feedback. Okay. So he's gone again. So we're gonna move on because that's what we do. So I'm going to call upon the next poet, and that is Elizabeth. Oh, are you there? Are you gone? Elizabeth, I don't see you. So Elizabeth isn't here right now, so we will move on. After Elizabeth is Ghoul. Sir, if you could please unmute your mic and go ahead and present your poetry. Ghoul, Bakhti. Thank you, sir.
Am I audible to all of you now?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to recite my first poem. I think at least everyone knows me, so I'm not new to this book. The theme here is love. I love love in all forms. I love love in all forms. These are my nouns. I love love in all forms. These are my norms. The love of parents. So ever and transparent. Stay always high and above. The only matchless love. The selfless love of one with no sensuality, no sex or fun. It's allowed, decent and fine. Yes, reverent and divine. Love staying in my heart and mind is the love of mankind. If all humans once unite, I'll get an immeasurable delight. My love for my sincere friends. My love for my sincere friends is consistent. It never ends. Who are here today and here tomorrow, in my happiness and my sorrow. The one giving me her full time. The one giving me her full time is really my source of pleasure. Sorry, let me repeat. The one giving me her full time is definitely my love prime. Is really my source of pleasure. For every egg I keep, I treasure. Every smile with lips fragile, or every smile with lips fragile. For her, I can cross the river Nile. She proves to come along and always sings our song. I love all whose candles are burning. I love all whose candles are burning to acquire and spread the learning. Universal love and peace should be the aim. Universal love and peace should be the aim. All the above are fitting in my love. And that's all.
Thank you. It's beautiful. You always have great works, and always always a touch of humanity in your work. So I don't know what is wrong with my lighting today, but it's probably better off I'm a little in the dark. So we have lost some people. Were you laughing at me, Cheryl? I saw that. I saw that laugh. I can't hear you laugh, but I can see you laugh. So um, you're laughing with me, I'm sure, right? So these ring lights are supposed to be good for podcasting. There you go. Not so much in the shadow. So we lost Elizabeth. Don't know where she went. I'm going to bring in this gentleman who keeps getting kicked out, and I'm going to mute you. There. Okay. So I guess I would be next in the. I can't mute you. There we go. Somebody else needs to be muted. Maybe me. Maybe I need to be muted. So, so my name's Annette Tarpley, and I'm going to read my poem. I kind of go at the end of it, since we kind of went through everyone here through the first round. If people come in, then we will add them later. So, mine is actually one that I wrote about people I take care of in the nursing home because very often they don't have visitors, and this is called The Forgotten. I held her frail, wrinkled hand, veins prominent in a bony structure, wondering about the fruits of their labor. How many tears had they brushed from streaked faces? How many loaves of bread had they kneaded? How many pie crusts had they formed? How many times had they clasped together in prayerful supplication? How many diapers had they changed? How many times had they caressed the hands of another to comfort? Her once piercing blue eyes, now clouded by a film, gazing into mine with a blank stare. How many sunrises had they seen? How many silent words had they spoke? How much love had they conveyed? How many tears had they shed? How many questions had they implored? How many hearts had they broken? When was the last setting sun that they had seen? Her ears, now large, prominent, and drooping, have lost the sense to capture that for which they were created. What secrets had they heard? What promises whispered that were not kept? What music had they loved? Did they miss the sound of laughter? Did they yearn for the pitter-pat of rain? When did they last hear an I love you? Were they lonely now in their silence? Her mouth, lips now dried and cracked, trying desperately to move, to form words they couldn't speak, now touching my face with a weakened kiss. I mourned for the once vibrant woman now living alone in her shell, separated by a membrane of time, lost in a vault of sequestered memories. In a facility she was cared for by unknowing strangers. No visitors would enter the doors in the land of the forgotten. In peace. So, um, oh, thank you. I hear that muted applause. Thank you, Brian. You're too kind. And
That was that was heart-rending, but it was fantastic.
it is meant to get people to go see people in a nursing home. I wrote that when I went to go see a patient who was doing psychiatry at the time, and I said, um, "How long have you been here?" 7 years. When's the last time someone came to see you? Not in 7 years. When's the last time someone called you? Not in 7 years. So it's very sad when they it kind of is the land of the forgotten. So we are. I'm going to add you're in here twice again. So I'm going to only add one entity. I think everyone else is added. I don't know what happened to Elizabeth. She must be having some difficulty. So we're going to go on to round two. And Cheryl Jackson, you are going to. Would you like to host this round, Cheryl?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm going to give the stage to you, and you can do your thing.
Okay. I'm going to start off by asking everyone to mute their mics. And I think I'm probably going to be the first poet in this round. So I'll just go right into that poem. I'm going to do a poem. I wasn't going to do it, but Thomas kind of inspired this one. So I lost my dad with from stage 4 prostate cancer, and I wrote this for him upon his death. But it's called "Longing to Sing Like Sarah Vaughan." I couldn't bridge our gaps or right our wrongs. I didn't have a Whitney Houston voice to sing you love songs. In your time of need, to care for you as best I could. I didn't remember all the pain you caused in life. I remembered all your good. I wished you never became sick. I wished you were never ill. Stage 4 prostate cancer that spread to the bones, my God, sobering still. If only our days were longer, why couldn't we try just a little harder? Now, our tomorrows with you are lost, living on past memories of you, the rest of our forever. Chilling, lasting thoughts of you as you departed life. Did you remember your son, Tony, or mommy, the woman you once called wife? I wished I could have bridged our gaps and righted all our wrongs. Why didn't God give me a voice to sing my dying father, Sarah Vaughan, jazz, and blues like songs? Poem. So that was the end of that piece. And second poem, the second person that I'm going to call up to the stage now would be Jill.
Last year, in diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm here to tell you that I beat it, and I'm really proud of that. So after almost 9 months of surgery, recovery, and compared to radiation, surgery was a walk in the park. But for 9 months, I couldn't write. So I want to share with you a poem that I wrote for my dad. It was on what would have been his 84th birthday. I'm sorry, his 86th birthday. My dad missed a lot. He passed from pancreatic cancer at the age of 41. We were all young teenagers, and my mom was 38. I thought of Annette when I wrote this poem because she and I had the loss of our father completely taken from our lives far, far too soon. Finding my dad again. For a long time, the only images I carried of my dad were from his last weeks, days, hours, minutes, our hands clasped. 3, 2, 1. I love you, Daddy. He could not have weighed more than 100 pounds, jaundiced, chemo ravaged, wounded. I begged God to free him from this prison of relentless suffering. Decades later, now an adult with my own family and a son who carries Dad's name, I came across boxes filled with pictures, telegrams, letters, even the messages on floral delivery cards. It was all in there, daring me to peek, scavenge, even revel in the contents of the treasure trove buried within. There was my dad wearing a kiss the cook apron, folding mom's homemade strawberry jam into each imperfect omelet, dusting them with confectionery sugar while mugging for mom's little brownie camera, forever capturing those one in a million milestone moments. There was my dad shepherding our young family around Disneyland, kneeling besides a creek bed where we learned to pan for gold. There was my dad lacing our skis at a winter resort. 3 kids under 7. 30 minutes later, the bunny slopes were but a frostbitten memory. There was my dad freeing our soggy feet while mom, God bless her, passed hot chocolate and thermal socks in a million milestone moments in boxes that had seen better days. I found my dad again. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. I don't want to like start crying on here. Wow.
I don't usually cry.
No, she
Oh,
doesn't.
oh,
No,
Jill.
Cheryl, I'm going to ask if you would, and I don't see Elizabeth. I see your picture on the bottom part, but I don't see you on the top part. Elizabeth, can you unmute yourself? I can't see your image. I was,
I can hear you and I can see you all, but I don't know why my camera is not stable, and I've been trying to get it fixed, but I've not been able to get hang of it.
So I don't mean to interrupt Cheryl, but since she's having so much technical difficulty, I thought maybe she could go ahead and read her two poems for both rounds. Let me
Okay.
actually hold on just a second, Elizabeth, because I'm going to try something because I see your picture on the bottom, but I don't see it on the top. So I'm going to remove you here and see if I add you to the stage if we see your beautiful face, which we don't, but we can hear your beautiful voice. So if you would
Okay.
please recite two of your poems, that would be wonderful. And we lost her. Devices are not connected. So Cheryl, go up. Whoops, it's kind of in and out. Here we go.
Okay.
There, that was
Hi,
great.
hi everyone. Okay, thank you.
Hello,
So
Wendy.
I'm going to read from The Beauty of Words, my latest book, and I'm so excited to be here with you all. It has been a long time since we had this special gathering, and I really appreciate Madam Kanetapley for setting this up. Thank you so much. So I'm going to read one of my poems from this special book titled The Beauty of Words, and the poem is titled The Beauty of Flowers. Sweet wonders of the earth enriches our minds and hearts. In their beauty, we beget memories to save and savor, and the rhythm of life that makes us shimmy. Flowers are wonders of the earth, with colors so brilliant and lush, fragrance that captivates the nostrils and the mind. Flowers are a part of our lives, on the prints of our favorite dresses, on the dinner table at Thanksgiving, at your doorsteps from your Valentine. Flowers are an image of elegance, of kindness, and of tender heart. They depict the mind's emotions and leaves the receiver a memory to keep. There is so much beauty in these lovely petals that brings hearts together. Okay, so I'm going to move right ahead to the second poem from this book, and it's titled A Life Well Spent. Let's see, it's on page, trying to find that here now. A Life Well Spent. Okay, that's on page 28. Yes. A life well spent. When my sunshine is gone, when nothing but its ghost hovers over me, when I am gray and wrinkled, what will become of me? When I am but an ordinary old lady, whose fingers can grip the pen no more, whose thoughts shall be deemed priceless, what would I do? While I am gay and bright, when I am full of inspiration, when I write for the world to relish, wishing to be called legendary, would my dreams see the light of the day? With much passion and pride, I wind up works of splendid lines, wishing to be known around the world, wanting a fulfilled life when I am aged. When all my dreams come true, when the world appreciates my works, when I am deemed successful, then will I live in happiness. Wonderful feats of mine shall bring me joy when my sunshine is gone, when nothing but its ghost hovers over me, when I am gray and wrinkled. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Elizabeth, those were great.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think Thomas is up next. Thomas, we are having difficulty hearing you at this point.
Oh, I need to put the mic on, that's why. Yeah, I wrote this poem, Rabbie Burns. It's about Rabbie Burns. Rabbie Burns is the national poet of Scotland. And obviously, being a hero, being a poet, So we all kind of inspire to have a Rabbie Burns inside us. So I'm all dressed up in my Scottish gear. So I'm going to see if I play a little bit of music in the background. This is called A Burns Day. The national poet, I want to be like Rabbie Burns, who's a hero to me. In old Scots tongue, he was better than anyone. Rabbi had his say in political and civil commentary. In 1786, the Kilmarnock edition was his first publication. Poem chiefly was written so neatly in Scots dialect at 3 shillings a head. It was Rabbi's pen that would make him the national poet of Scotland. After the bard's death at the age of 37, people came to see what an inspiration he would be. Liberalism, socialism, a culture icon that he would become. In 1801, the first Rabbi Burns supper began. His cottage in Ayrshire would inspire, old friends would go to inspire each other. January the 25th each year, we have a birthday cheer. Raise a glass, have a whiskey toast, say Slangivar to a great bard Scotland can boast. The Scottish disappear, clans from all around the land would go across the sea, brought Burns poetry with thee. Rabbi, a great bard, his poetry will be heard. Now, well known, we don't hesitate to celebrate, to raise a glass, pipe in the haggis, say Slangivar to old friends near and old friends afar. End of poem. So that's Rabbi Burns, Scottish poet. He was a politician, great inspiration to us all. Yeah, so that's the one. I hope I read it okay. It's one of my favourites.
You did a great job, Thomas.
Okay, good
It was
stuff.
great. Okay, next up is going to be Khalid. I don't see him. Is he here?
Khalid, Solomon, you are next from Nigeria. Can you unmute your mic for us, please? And go ahead and recite your poem.
Thanks for the opportunity once again. The next poem I want to recite now is
we aren't able to hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. I think we're having some technical difficulties, and my dog is telling you that. Wow, listen to that. We got some music going on. So I think what we're going to do is come back to you later. We'll try to give you another try later. And Chyrel, if you would please call up the next poet.
Okay, absolutely. The next poet up is Brian. Brian, it's on you.
All right, thank you. Before I go into my next piece, I just wanted to say how good it feels to see the young people out here. Sulaimon and the other young lady. That really warms my heart. This piece is also about a child that I met, over the internet. I met in from India. Her name is Ayancha, and I wrote this piece for this brilliant young lady, Ayancha. What past life glory, what marvelous feat was attained to earn such a child? She travels like a wish through honeycombs of parallel worlds to find us, to touch our hearts. She wears her tiara within in humbleness. It is a beauty of her inner world that we see. A lighted soul waiting in dark waters is she, a lighted temple on the shoreline of prayers. From brilliant cities lit on crystal lakes and rivers, she is the nightly observer, the twilight watcher. She understands and is accustomed to loss more than any child should know in any measure. She is the courageous one in a fearful time, for the festivals and holy days have quieted. Sickness has increased the earthly vessels forsaken for eternity, creating grim lily pads in the river Ganges. Alongside swaying candles and water that glow and flicker at dusk, alongside frankincense and jasmine scented flora afloat in leaf cups. Now is a time for filling the ranks of the ancestors. This is where angels are made, to now know the secrets of men. What past life glory, what marvelous feat was attained to earn such a child? She travels like a wish through honeycombs of parallel worlds to find us, to touch our hearts. We are the refugees lost and adrift in the sea of dreams. We are the wayward pilgrims seeking to worship, the lonely poets observing time, strung together in spirit like pearls, strung together in spirit like tears. For it is the children who are unjustly charged to make the world a better place when they have not yet lived. In peace. Thank you.
Wow. Brian, you have just really hit it out the park. Your first poem and now this one, I've, 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 I'm just blown away. So great job.
Thank you. Thank you. And all of you, please connect with me like Jill had text on Facebook so we can stay in contact. Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to stay in contact, but you keep rejecting my request, sir.
Me? He's joking.
All right. Yeah, he's marvelous. As are all of you, and very much am enjoying this. Cheryl, I'm going to take it back over to you, girl.
Okay. I actually called Brian before I should have called Saurav. So I wanted to apologize and acknowledge that I made an error. So although I enjoy Brian, we got to kick it back to Saurav now to kind of fix my mistake. So Saurav, you're up right now.
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot. I hope I'm audible now. The audio issue seems to have got fixed.
Yes,
Okay.
we can all
Big
hear you.
relief. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the opportunity. Very quick intro. I am a banker by profession and a writer come poet by my passion. And it's great to be here to present a few poems for the audience and for the fellow esteemed poets. I would like to, with your permission, cover two poems together because I believe they represent two diametrically opposite ends of the spectrum. So, as I was mentioning initially before the glitch came in, that the first poem is on the theme of death, which is a slightly sad or melancholic theme. But I would make it up with a more peppy kind of a poem after this. Both are short poems. So I'll start with the poem on the theme of death. The title is Death, the Ultimate Destination. The poet in me wonders, what would death be like? Death, a primal fear among rich and poor alike, a dreaded topic we all seem to perennially abhor. a stage no one can ever be really prepared for. Is there a guide that could take us through the afterlife, lift the pall of gloom, and make our spirits right? Alas, on this, every religion, be it old or new, follows its own tenets and has a unique view. Life is like a battery getting drained each passing year, with little means to recharge or arrest the wear and tear. Gripped by vices of greed, jealousy, hatred at all, do we realize we are mere mortals despite all our wherewithal? Let's make the most of our time before the curtain falls. Spread love and peace. Fulfill our dreams before our name gets called. Live each day as if it were our last, so future generations could revere us for our unique class. So, that, dear friends, was my poem based on the theme of death. So while it had a bit of a sad tinge to it, towards the end, I've tried to give a message. I hope this poem would resonate with you all. So with that, I'd like to move on to the second poem, which is on a diametrically opposite theme, as I had said. And I hope it could make the participants and the audience go back to perhaps one of the most enjoyable period of our lives, which was our childhood. The title of the poem is Childhood, the Wonder Years, a time filled with joy and hardly any tears. Yes, I'm talking of childhood, the wonder years, when the heart is pure and mind at ease, days fun filled and nights full of peace. Childhood, when we are full of innocence, when time flies by amidst family and friends, no responsibility, no one to compete against, under the unwavering shade of our loving parents, untouched by barriers of religion, caste, and creed, miles away from feelings of jealousy and greed. Childhood, ah, what a glorious period of life it is, blessed as it is by our father's care and mother's kiss. Wish if money could buy me a time machine using which I could relive the days evergreen, away from life's challenges and its blues, to a state of prolonged happiness, regardless of life's use. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, was my poem based on the theme of childhood. I hope you would have liked both my poems on two completely diverse themes. So, over to you back, Cheryl.
They were just absolutely fantastic. Especially I loved the one you just read on childhood. I really resonated with that one.
Thanks a
Great
lot.
job. We've got two more poets in this round, and it'll be Gull and Annette will end it. But Gull is the next poet up. Are you
Goal,
there?
Goal, can you go ahead and unmute your mic? Whoops, he's gone.
Okay, that's you
I'm
then.
gonna
It's on you, Annette.
I'm going to put me in the small mode because I don't like looking at me in the big mode. So I'm going to exit the solo. I like looking at you all, but I can look. I can't get away from me. Everywhere I go, there I am. So I don't want to see like boom. So I'm going to read one. It's an old one. It's called Menagerie of Broken Dreams. And there you go. One of those fictionalized things. In the twilight of her mind, her thoughts randomly played. Reels of bygone years disseminating into fractured memories. Pieces of broken glass arranged in a calculated array of art. A mosaic fragmented yet cohesively dispersed into a pastoral scene. With clarity, now recalling the meadow that haunted her conscience, in a land beyond the reach of dreams, hidden beyond a cobweb cloak. For it was a meadow that taught her a kiss was more than conjoining lips. It was a symphony of emotions orchestrated into a crescendo of dance, a waltz of warm, moist merriment, embodied in an entangled duet. Eyelids slowly close, the shades to intoxicating blue now hidden. In the twilight of her mind, a Renaissance masquerade. Her broken dreams, now a kaleidoscope of menageries. As an isolated tear cascades down her alabaster cheek. Thank you.
Wow. You said you wrote that some time ago, in it?
I wrote it almost 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a great video on YouTube. Alan Johnson did that one, and he did a great job. So he recites it much better than I do. So, but thank you.
Okay, that's the end of round
It
2.
is. I'm going to go ahead and take over for round 3, but I really appreciate your help, Chyrel. Bless you. While you were taking over, I should have went upstairs and got some coffee, but I did not do that. So this is round 3. It's our final round. And let me see if Elizabeth, are you? Yeah, I think everybody's, well, not everybody's here, but so we're just going to go and forge on. So this will be the last round. And guess who's up first? It is Miss Cheryl J. Jackson. So back to you, my dear.
Okay, I'm going to read the second poem from the current book, which is the current book. This is the book that's out now that I've been reading from. This one is a one that I love. It's one of my poems. It's called The Credo of the Scribe. In the faintest traces of morning light, with the rays of the sun upon my skin, I write, I write, I write. In the whispers of dust that fall in the night, gazing upon the moon, I write, I write, I write. Whatever the outcome or circumstance facing me in dawn's sparse flight, the heartening credo of the scribe, I write, I write, I write. Poem.
Love it. Love it. So we have some comments, not many, but we have one strong person in the background that I'm trying to exit the mode, and apparently my little mouse isn't working. But so we have a Ty Clark who said good morning in the beginning. Chyrel made a lot of comments. And I know who this is because he introduced me to this little saying, bars. So apparently that's good. Has anybody heard of that, bars, before? Bars? Oh, look at you. I knew that you did, Brian, so you knew it. But that is a new word for me. So, and then he, I believe his name is Tyrone. He also said, all of your works are impressive. I'm loving every moment of this. Tyrone is actually, I think, a musician, so he's a lyricist also. For sure can resonate both of your poems. And he snapped his fingers, and there you go. So thank you for joining us and being supportive. We really appreciate it. And we're going to call upon the next one. That was a beautiful poem, as always, Cheryl. And Cheryl Jackson actually writes her poetry books with as a duo with her sister. And tell us what your little what do you call yourselves again?
Sisters Rock and Rhyme.
Yeah. And they're marvelous. They're marvelous. But I love that you guys are a duo and you have the best graphics and stuff that somebody's done for y'all of you
Thank you
two.
so much. I
Love
appreciate
it.
it.
You are
Thank you,
welcome.
Annette.
You are welcome. So next, my dear friend, are you still there, Miss Jill Sharon Kimmelman? One of these days, I'm going to show up on your doorstep. I'm just going to go up to Delaware. You won't even know I'm coming. I'll just be there. That would shock you, wouldn't it? Unmute yourself, dearest.
You would not surprise me at all because you were here in 2020 and we had Thanksgiving together and we did a Facebook Live interview with Sarfraz. And that's the night that Two Hearts, your first book with Sarfraz, was born right in my living room. So how could I possibly not want you to come by? Anytime. Okay, I have two poems and I'm only going to read one. One of them was written with Elizabeth. If she comes back, I'm going to have her do that. If there's room, I can always come back to it. Okay, this is called A New Tradition. Many of you have grown up and completely taken for granted that you have in your kitchen, in your mama's kitchen, in your grandmother's kitchen, at least one cast iron skillet. But I had none. So I wrote this piece, and in the mail from a dear, dear sister that we all love and celebrate, Zan Johns, came a brand new black cast iron skillet. So I now have one. So I'm going to read you this poem that talks about the origin of that receiving that gift. Okay. A new tradition. By the time I was born, instead of cooking, my grandmother made conversation, inspired dinner reservations. Though I'd heard tell stories of chicken fried in a cast iron skillet, someone else's memories of hot cornbread drizzled with honey and the fluffiest biscuits ever slathered with sweet butter. No cast iron skillet in this girl's life, at least not so far. We have our traditions. Celebrating special holidays always means family. Foods prepared by generations of women with open hearts and skilled hands. Matzo balls floating in hearty chicken soup. Briskets brimming with carrots and onions in rich, fragrant broth, sponge cakes light as air, and those Hanukkah latkes, crisp on the edges, soft in the center. No matter how many mom makes, not a single one is ever left. So no cast iron skillet in this girl's life, at least not yet. So I go looking for a cast iron skillet of my very own. Google yard sales near me arrive at sunrise before the best stuff has been picked over. Searching tables, sinking into muddy lawns, garish with funny gnomes, pink flamingos, and Christmas lights. At the fourth house, beneath yet another crowded table, behind cans of SpaghettiOs and organic baby food, I spy a good size cast iron skillet. I have to admit, it doesn't look like much, heavily coated with dirt and rust, more like a piece of junk than the treasure I envisioned. I grab it, place a $5 bill in the palm of the kid babysitting the tables, clutching my find in old newspaper, and head home. I scrubbed that skillet for hours, attacking the crust of dirt and rust until my hands were dark brown, sparkling with tiny copper splinters. I oil it to a beautiful sheen, inside and out. Place it in a warm oven to dry. Now, finally, there's a skillet in this girl's life, seasoned with love. Jump forward with me 20 years. My beloved niece setting her Sabbath table, assisted by her two little girls, ages 4 and 6. Mama, can we please use Aunt Jill's skillet to bake our challah? They chorus. I don't see why not, she replied. Aunt Jill would be thrilled that we are carrying on the tradition she started. Thank you.
You can't lip read this post. That was marvelous as always, my friend. Which it kind of reminded me of your cooking. And should I show up at your door, you know what to do. She's a marvelous
Just
cook, y'all.
send me the order a day in advance and we'll have everything ready.
Yeah, I have to add Elizabeth and Gould back to the stage here. And so next we go back. We're going back to Scotland, and my dear friend Thomas, please bring your exuberant personality. If you ever catch him on TikTok, y'all, he's a lot of fun when he does his TikTok events.
Yeah, Annette, you need to come to Scotland as well. You know what I mean? I'll cook for you.
I keep every time you cook on your show, I say I'm
Yeah.
hungry. That looks good. I'll be right over.
Yeah. So I'm going to play some the music I played on the background is the instrumentals to. I hope it doesn't outsound my voice, but that's the instrumentals to some of the songs I've got. There's so many poems to actually speak if you can't get them all in the one. So I came up with this one. It's called Butterfly Effect, and the music on the background. You can find my music on my YouTube channel and Spotify and stuff like that. And then I'm also going to plug I've got a new book coming out, my first one ever, inspired by all you great poets, inspired by you, Annette. That's going to come out as well. So that's in the process very, very, very soon. I'm just waiting for the final bit. So that's called Poet Library. Hopefully I get that out soon. So this poem is called The Butterfly Effect. I'll see if I can play a little bit of the butterfly song on the back of it. So, as a newborn into this world, we start becoming old on the bridge of life. doing what we are told. People say I'm ugly as I cocoon my soul, trying to be brave, trying to remain whole. A butterfly beats its wings over 1,000,000 times. It can have a ripple effect that can change the shadow of time. Before its demise, one small occurrence can influence a much larger, complex human mind. We change and grow. The tongue can hurt. What you spit out as a weapon, words are a weapon used in a negative direction. Also, can be used as a medication to heal the scars of a broken heart. Mend a ruminous mind. Let's flutter through life with love, happiness, and empathy. Don't make people feel empty, for your smile can be passed along from one human to another, like the butterfly effect. There is no room for regret. There you go, lads. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Marvelous. I wish I could make sound with these things, but I can't. So, so we have another comment from Ty, and this is for everyone. And he says that he would like everyone, he would like to get everyone's social media information. So if you can post, I think you can post that on here under the comment section where he is, which is different than the private chat, which we talk to each other in. So if y'all would like to give that information to Ty so he can follow you, that would be great. Thank you, Ty. And next, thank you so much, my friend Thomas. And everyone follow him on TikTok. He's quite amusing. I always love watching your events. Never seen a happier guy. He's like always so full of energy. You have a lot of followers on those too, from all over the world. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I've only been on a year. I speak Japanese as well. So on my TikTok, I've got a lot of Japanese followers. And so I wear my kimono and I do a Japanese session where I speak Japanese and play all my Japanese favorite songs. When I'm on my live, all the music, most of your music, all of it basically is my songs, apart from when I play Annette songs, because obviously great music. So this is my playlist. So, and I'm also teaching cooking because I was a professional chef for like 40 years. And so I cook cheap, easy food, but make it restaurant quality at the end of the day, Yeah.
Now he says to y'all that he has me on his playlist, and every time he's on his phone. Annette, I can't find it. Please send it to me. Almost every time. So I am not on your playlist, Thomas.
You're on my playlist now, Annette, my TikTok playlist. It comes up automatically now.
It's always so funny. Annette, hurry up and send it to me.
Yeah. How many songs have you done?
I've done 6 that I've made. I make the videos for the bad videos, and then I have a 7th one that is like a lullaby, sweet lullaby that I'm gonna have. Somebody that I ran into that asked for a friend request is a poet from Norway, and she's also a musician. And I wanted a feminine voice for that, so we're trading. I'm going to write a review for her book, and she's going to do my song. So, yeah. So we'll have a new one. I'm not sure when all that's going to get done, but anyway.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone. I am thrilled to have everyone here today. So we don't have the next poet. I believe he's gone from here. So we're going to move on to Saurav Anand. If you would please mute yourself, dear sir, and recite your last poem for us. Thank you.
Sure, Annette. Thanks a lot. So my third poem and the last one would be on the theme of friendship. I hope the audience and the fellow poets will like it. The title of the poem is An Ode to Friendship. So I'll present it now. A bond outside of any familial or blood connection, where mutual respect and concern are the only ingredients. Friendship is the glue that gives life a new direction and helps us tide over many a life's impediments. Indeed, a strong connection of hearts it is, where words are best left unspoken. Friendship often creates a world of eternal bliss and rescues us when our other relations are somewhat broken. True friendship transcends barriers of race, caste, and creed, makes us truly human in letter and spirit, also helps overcome worldly vices of jealousy and greed, lifts us up from life's troughs, even though bit by tiny bit. A colorless life it is without a true friend, someone to share our tears of joy and sorrow with. Indeed, friendship it is that cushions us at life's every bend, a priceless bond and emotion that has only purity underneath. So, that, dear friends, was my poem based on the wonderful bond of friendship that exists among true friends. I hope you were able to connect with the poem.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful and indeed about friendship, and it's so true. So thank you for sharing your works with us today and for being with us today. And it's been a pleasure to have you. And
Thanks a lot.
I just want to make sure we don't have somebody in the background. Eva, look who showed up at the last minute. Let me see. Hold on. So, Evelyn, are you there?
Yes, good evening. I'm
Where,
here.
where have you been?
Yeah, I just brought somebody to the airport, so I really had no internet and I couldn't get through. So I'm here at home now. Am I too late?
Well, this is the last round, so we're at the end of it. But what we'll do is I'm going to go and have another couple of poets do their works, and then you can present your three at one time. Does that sound okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that would be fine.
So I will do them real quick, and then I'll come back to you. But so glad to have you here, Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thank
we
you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, dear. I'm going to mute you real quick, and I'm going to go to Brian, Donald James, and I want to tell you, my friend, that I very much appreciate your presence here as well, and that you look at you, last minute, boom, right?
Yeah, you know I'm going to come through for my sisters. You know that.
Well, you go
uh,
ahead and please share your wonderful work.
okay. The name of this piece is called Hijab. The henna is applied to look like ornate lace. The hijab, worn in modesty, upon your head is delicately placed, but behind your painted and powdered face is a smile betrayed by one tear that leaves a trace. Here in this mosque, there are no succulent lamb prepared, no vegetables baked with savory herbs served on silver platters, no sweets made with dates and honey, all because of his hue of onyx and brilliant ebony have met with the disapproval and scorn So your family members will not stand for you today. And now you are a refugee from your own kind. There is no honor in this killing. More painful than the letting of blood to be abandoned is a bruise that never seems to heal. It leaves a journey that is painfully endured. And you, a girl child, a gentle soul, a sparrow, scared and not wanting to displease, holding your head low, how dare you love? Be still, your tender heart boldly illuminated. They say now you must compress the sun with your bare, burnt hands, strangle your love, leave it shattered and scattered in ribbons of incandescent light across your sunken inner skies, hide it in the darkness to fester. So you left all that you knew for love, set your back to the wind to pursue your paradise here in this world, to pursue your own version of sunshine. For you would never forsake your God, your religion, even when men of all faiths defile holy words. They bend them with culture and stubbornness, their forked tongues whispering evil lullabies in your ears since birth, leaving you in a trance to covet acceptance, causing you to defend a home that truly wasn't, causing similar demons taught to resurface and lash against those who truly love you. See, I see your wounds, but no one must be forced to pay for the sins of your lineage. Remember, you left all you knew for love and reason, and even now, after all that has been said and all that has transpired, yes, even now that you are blessed and reborn from this, my dear sister, my dear daughters, you cannot claim your paradise here in this world until you find sanctuary within yourself. The henna is applied to look like ornate lace. The hijab worn in modesty upon your head is delicately placed, but behind your painted and powdered face is a smile betrayed by one tear that leaves a trace. In peace.
Absolutely beautiful, as always. Um,
Thank you.
your work is always amazing, as is everyone. But so bars. So you know why I think I know why you know bars, because I think Ty is from Maryland. Aren't you from Maryland? Don't you live in Maryland, Brian?
No, but I'm from the DMV area, Maryland District,
Yeah.
Virginia,
So
and
it's a
I'm
up
a
there.
former rapper. So bars means like raps, and then it transcends.
Oh,
You know, you
there
say
you
something good, you
go.
go bars or facts or something like that. So
There you go. Shout out to DMV is what Ty just said. So there you go. Y'all are up there in the same area. I think he might have done so. I'm not sure if he's done some rap or not. Um, so I think what I'm going to do, Elizabeth, I'm going to call upon you next. I can see your picture down on the bottom again, but I can't see you at the top. I think that's really weird. Let me see if, real quick, if I can somehow. I don't think I can do your settings anyway, but I'm just trying to see if I can somehow change that so we can see your beautiful face, but I don't see it. So, Elizabeth, can you unmute your mic for us, please?
Annette, I have a poem Elizabeth and I wrote together. So if she's having difficulty, I can share this one that we're both very proud of. It's a collaboration.
I think she just unmuted herself, but you can
Good.
share that. Um,
Okay.
you can share that also.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can hear you, Elizabeth.
Okay. May I go ahead to read now?
Please do.
Okay, thank you. So I'm about to read one of my poems from Tremendous Words titled Memories of the Titanic. So there's a short note here that I'm going to read. It says, Dear reader, on 14th April 1912, the RMS Titanic sank and left a huge mark in history. and we all seem to have gotten over the blow of the incident. But when the Ocean's Gate Titan implodes 111 years later on 18th June 2023, the world is once again thrown into shock. Please enjoy the poem. Memories of the Titanic. This tale of tragedy still lives on over a century. It fills my soul with grief at every recalling of the woeful memories. It pulls tears from my eyes when I watch John Cameron's retelling of the heart-wrenching story. When I listen to Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On, there are so many emotions on my mind. I know that my tears will go on for the many souls lost, the vulnerable poor who died in absolute war of class segregation. Even the riches of the wealthy couldn't buy them survival as they sunk into the freezing sea where death awaited them to lead a tour of the afterlife. The Titan sets me back on memory lane. Its implosion leaves me with no option than to mourn this great damage that leaves a mystery in my mind. Could this be an uprising beyond science? Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Elizabeth. Marvelous as always. So I guess since Jill already mentioned it, maybe we can do the poem that you both did as a duo. Um, how do you want to do that, Jill? Do you want to read it yourself? Do you want Elizabeth to read it? Do you want to read it together?
I can read it myself, giving Elizabeth full credit as a co-author and give a little bit of background to the poem.
That will be amazing, Jill. Thank you.
Is that okay with you, my love? Okay. It's called Is It Worth?
Yes, that will be perfect, Jill. Thank you.
Anything else, sweetheart, before I read? Okay. Is it worth the struggles? Writing poems has never been my choice. Without stories spilling from my very core, death of my spirit is a certainty. Take my leg, a willing one stands ready to step in. Pierce my heart, I shall learn, even trust, enough to love again. Take from me my pen and ink, all that splatters and bleeds. My soul remains firm to write again. Banish all pain, reveal raw emotions while beginning the process of healing. Writing is freedom, a way to scale thorny walls of all our prison gates. My poems, crafted within a safe, brave space, initiate changes, guide me in deliverance of wisdom learned. Poems are goals to accomplish the promise of their mission, fills me with strength. Without writing, hope vanishes, confidence wavers, ideas rarely attain fruition. Neither martyr nor orator, spinning words to convey personal grievances, lashing out at whatever comes to mind, all the while knowing they are barely treading water. No, I am a warrior poet, determined to seek and meet, reach for answers, celebrate and thrive inside a hard-won, peaceful, new world order. Without Elizabeth, this poem would still be piled in crinkled paper surrounding me in my hospital bed. So I thank you for allowing me to share what Elizabeth and I created in almost exactly 2 years in September. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to hear it. Kudos to you and dear Elizabeth. You make quite a writing team, and I know you've been a wonderful influence on her and have helped mold her into the beautiful, wonderful person and writer she is. So, um, kudos, Elizabeth, and Jill, dear Jill. So I think what I'm going to do next is, Gul, I know that you are a gentleman and you would let Evelyn maybe read a couple of her poems first. So I'm going to go to you, Evelyn, and I want you to read two poems. I will go
All
back
right.
to I will go back to Gul then, and then come back to you. And
Mhm.
so if you would grace us with your wonderful works, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you most of all, Annette. Now, just a little background of about myself. I am Evelyn and I am from the Philippines. And I have been writing poetry since I was 6 years old. And now I am a mother of four girls and a grandmother of three. Now, I would like to also say hello to everyone, most especially, of course, to our dear friend Jill, and most especially also to Annette. Now, I'm going to read a poem that is entitled Since There Is Time Left, because I'm a little bit late. So I think this poem is timely. Now, I write short poems. I'm not into writing very, very long poems. And this one is just a three stanza poem, which I would like to dedicate to each one of you here tonight. So the title is Since There Is Time Left. Actually, this poem was written in and published in one of my books. The title is Finding My Heart. Since there is time left, let me get near you. Let me kiss you. Let me have your embrace. Let me feel your caress. Since there is time left, let me long for your absence. Let me bask in your presence. Let me rest in your arms. Let me call you sweetheart. Since there is time left, let me warm your cold nights. Let me find your awaited peace. Let me follow you elsewhere. Let me take you anywhere while there is time left. So, thank you very much for listening.
And that was one poem.
Yes, do you like me to read another one?
Why don't you go ahead and do your final two?
All
Because
right.
this is the last round. Ghoul has left. That
All
one's
right.
in right now. So go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
So, are we entitled to recite two poems, Annette?
Yes, I want you to recite two more, if you would please.
Okay. I have another one here. Um, of course, this is for all of us. The title is From Now On. Time. From now on, I will not squander away time, for time does not stand still. It does not wait. Not for you, not for me. Never. From now on, I will not say never, for never is not true. It lies. There is a better word for never. It is probably. Forgive. From now on, I will not be slow to forgive. Forgiveness is God's criteria for me to enter His eternal home someday. Doubt. From now on, I will not doubt, for to doubt is not having faith. I have always lived and trusted in faith. It is me. Wait. From now on, I will wait, for waiting makes me, builds me stronger along with Him. I will wait patiently. Breathe. From now on, I will breathe, for breathing for my loved ones is sublime. I breathe for them every night and every day. Like. From now on, I will like, for liking even those who like me less make me humble, humble as can be. Love. From now on, I will be quick to love, for love in all its purity is the greatest of all. Let me give mine quickly from now on. All right, that's the second one. And thank you for having me tonight, Annette.
My pleasure. I'm so glad you can make it. Yes, go ahead with your next one. Your poetry is beautiful, Evelyn.
So, you want me to read another one?
Yes, that will be your third one, right?
All right, this is the third one.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll just pick a random poem. So this one is okay. I don't know why I like to write about time. So here's another one. The title is "Where Did Time Go?" Where did time go? I don't know. Do you? Ask my silvery streaks of hair, my ten wrinkled knuckles, my curved vertebrae, my dog-eared journals, fondly remembered beneath the warm coals of memories. Ask my husband, whose strength ever twined with mine, aged, preserved, bottled into sweet wine. Oh, where did time go? Or has it really left? Yes, time came by and stealthily left those whose walls of remorse and sad regrets seep in to become the guilty seers of ifs and have been. Where did time go? All right, where did time go?
Thank you so much. It's beautiful. I'm so happy that you came here. I was thinking
Yes.
that you may have prompted me to go ahead and do another open mic since I hadn't done any for a while. So I think it was you, but can't
Thank
remember.
you for having me with you tonight, Annette.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So what's going to happen is I'm going to recite my last poem, and then I want everybody after that to unmute themselves, and we'll say goodbye. But one thing I neglected to do because I haven't done this for a while is, and Evelyn reminded me when she was doing it, is I forgot to have you all introduce yourselves. So, and in the end of it, I will go to you all, and you can tell us something about you in closing, and then we'll close it out. So, so an hour from now at 11 o'clock my time is the second open mic event, which should be interesting because we have almost an entire repertoire of pop administrators, and we're like family, you know. So that should be an interesting little. Um, it'll be fun, I'm sure. Not that this wasn't y'all. Y'all have been wonderful, but um, look at my clock's going off. It's saying that the event's over with. It's not. But so what I'm going to do is the last one I want to read. I'm going to mute. Or yeah, I'm going to mute a couple of people. I think we're good. So the last one I'm going to read is kind of near and dear to my heart in that it is the last piece that Alan Johnson did for me. It was about 2 months before he passed last year. And I had this made for like Alan. I got me one too, but it's Alan's picture. And then it says, those we love don't walk away. They walk beside us every day. And I miss him every day, my friend. He was a great friend. But Alan narrated it. It's kind of self-prophesizing, and it's almost like he was reading it about himself. And it's called The Legacy of a Life. Born into this world, uniquely created, there will never be another replica of you. As we journey through life, we leave behind our legacy, our imprint, our stamp. What attributes did we possess that pinnacle us into the forefront of one's attentions? A look, a smile, a glance, a laugh, a voice, soon forgotten after one's departure if not captured. What have we left behind that will impact future generations to sustain the memory of self? Did we impart wisdom that will remain current in the annals of time and that sparks the memory of you? The smell of your cologne no longer lingers on a once scented handkerchief, the edges now frayed. The fragility of the photographs stored in a box, images fading with age, subjects lost in a time warp. Taken for granted, given little thought while alive, the poet's works are rediscovered. As the poet's children mull over the works created, talents once hidden and now exposed, lessons of life, sage wisdom, in simplistic words yet choreographed with complexity. Ink on the stark white pages, through the years worn with use, paying homage to the legacy of a life. So, thank you all for coming. Unmute yourselves. And, well, I mean, actually, let's go around. I think some people have left, but we'll deal with the people who are here. I think I need to add Evelyn. Well, her device is not connected. Elizabeth, back to the stage. So I'm just going to go on how we are on the screen, or how I see you on the screen, as far as introducing yourself. Chyrel L. Jackson, or J. Jackson, please go ahead and unmute yourself and introduce yourself. And I'm sorry that I forgot to do that in the beginning.
That's okay. I just wanted to say hi to all of the great poets that showed up this early morning. That's awesome of you guys. And I enjoyed everyone's pieces and poetry. I actually write with my sister. You guys know that already. I'm the second half of a writing team. It's called Sisters Rock and Rhyme. Our books are available on Amazon, and they're just from a woman's point of view, but that's pretty much it. And we're everywhere. So if you just look for Sisters Rock and Rhyme. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. Sisters Rock and Rhyme, we're everywhere.
I have your book here somewhere. I'm not sure where it is right now, but I do. So thank you so much, Cheryl. And thank you for helping me and assisting. I really appreciate it.
And no problem.
Thomas McArthur, my dear friend, you are up next to tell about you.
Yeah, hello. Like I said, I just started writing 3 years ago. And I opened my own poetry group inspired by Annette. It's called Bird to Bard. It's on Facebook. So we've got some great poets on that. So my thing is I put up a photograph in the group once a week, and then what we do is we write a poem, what we see in the photograph, to inspire our minds. It's a great way to get the flowing juices. I was a chef all my life for 40 years and travelled to Japan, speak Japanese pretty well. Now I'm a security guard. So I was on night shift last night. So I got home at 8 o'clock this morning. So I had 3 hours sleep, set my alarm to come on here. So I do all my writing when I'm at work. So I've got 12 hour shift. So I've got my time to kill. So I will write either a song or a poem, whatever comes to my head. Um, some stuff on Facebook and some stories inspire me to write stories like from the heart. And I go into Fiverr .com where I find my singers. And because I can't sing, I can only write the lyrics. They will sing my songs for me. Of course, it's their job, but I've used Justin Burchamp now for 2 years, and he's sung over maybe 200 songs of mine, and all my other singers. I live in Scotland. It's miserable as usual, raining, but I found my mojo, I think, in writing and inspiring, trying to inspire, I hope, younger people and anyone to come and write. You know, basically, my daughter's in Japan, so you can go into my YouTube channel and check out my music, what I write. And I've given a follow to a couple of you guys on here. Brian, I'll give you a follow now on Facebook. So, yep. And Jill, I give a follow too. So, yeah, let's follow each other, like you said, Annette.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you. And Brian, I would love for you to tell us all more about you.
Well, that's one thing I'm not very good at. I rather talk about other people. But my name is Brian Donald James, from America, Virginia. I'm a United Nations award-winning poet. I was a semifinalist for a TV pilot called America's Next Great Author. And I won a couple awards on the university level, Poetry Society of Virginia, Poetry Society of London. Do a lot of work around the world concerning fighting food insecurity with my friend Dr. Hiram LaRue through his program Poetry X Hunger. So please look that up. And we just fighting insecurity around the world. And that's what I'm into, just making the world a better place.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being my friend and the wonderful poet and person that you are. And I'm humble. Of course, that we always never want to lose that, right? A little humbleness.
Absolutely. And please follow on the, like Brett said, on Facebook, but also BrianDonaldJames.com if you want to read more about some of the stuff that I do. But thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. And then Elizabeth, I don't know if you can unmute yourself. We can't see you, but we can hear you. Elizabeth? Are you there?
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much for hosting this amazing show, Annette. I've enjoyed being here today, and I'm so sorry for the technical issue for not being able to have my video put up. And I just wanted to know I've had a great time here today, and I am Elizabeth O Ogumodede by name. My initial, the O dot, means Omolayo in Yoruba language here in Nigeria, and it simply means a child is joy. So that's what the O stands for. So that's Elizabeth O Ogumodede. I am an author. I am an author of 6 books, and I am 16 years old, although I'll be 17 in August, on August 31st. And I'll be starting school in October, so I'm pretty excited. That's university here in Nigeria, so I'm excited to start school. And I'm also a young entrepreneur, and well, that's just all about me. Thank you so much for having me here today, Annette, and greetings to all poets in this special room. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You know how much I love and adore you, and you are going places, and you can do. The sky is is the limit with you. I mean, you just are an inspiration for not only younger people, but those of us who are older as well. So thanks for
Thank
being the
you.
wonderful you.
Thank you.
And Jill, Sharon Kimmelman, my beloved friend, please unmute yourself. It's still muted. There you go.
Okay. Um, as Annette said, we're very dear friends. My name is Jill Sharon Kimmelman. I started writing when I was a child, like most of you, and realized quite quickly that there had to be another way to put food on the table. So, my whole first chapter of my adult life was spent in the hospitality industry. I own my own catering company, got a chance to do a lot of wonderful film work, styling, desserts for restaurants. And the more you know me, the longer you know me, the more you'll find not recipes, but food mentions throughout conversation and frequently in my poems. I even have one that Elizabeth loved so much, she made it into a video. It's all about a bear who steals bear claws until he finds another reason. He falls in love with the poet and they live happily ever after. It's called Cubby's Joy, and it is available to check out on YouTube. Really briefly, I wanted to say thank you because I've been gone a long time. It feels like there's so many new people I'm excited to connect with. But just the very fact that people remember me after not seeing me, hearing me, seeing my work, I can't tell you how amazing that is, and how very, very special and blessed we all are to be a part of this great, big, beautiful, global poetry family. And I thank you all for making me feel so welcome. And let's honor, before anything else, Annette for 4 years of doing this. Not a penny made, everything out of her heart, her beautiful poetry, and when we can, these gatherings filled with love, hope, optimism, cheer, and looking forward to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Love you so much, and so glad that you're back amongst us because you surely were missed after all that time, and you are much beloved. And next, Saurav, if you would unmute your mic, and I wanted to just say a message quickly to Evelyn. I still see you as kind of in the background. You're not on the screen. It says your devices are not connected. So if you would like to say something, please connect. Otherwise, after you, sir, we will kind of wrap it up. But go ahead and tell us about you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Annette. First of all, I'd like to thank you for organizing this event today and letting me participate and present my poems. I would also like to mention, Annette, that there were a couple of poems of mine that were recognized by Passions of Poetry Group. One was a poem based on the wonderful mothers that all of us have. The title of that poem was And God Created Mother. And there was another poem which was on the theme of memories, which was titled Memories, the Greatest Wealth on Earth. So both of these were recognized by the Passions of Poetry Group. And I'm really grateful to you and the team at Passions at Poetry, of Poetry rather, that keeps on encouraging poets such as me. Now, a quick background, as I had mentioned during the course of today's session, I am a banker by profession, and poetry is my passion. Along with poetry, I have been in the field or realm of writing for a while. I have a blog on product management because that is the area that I specialize in the world of banking. So that blog is called productmanagementtoolkit.org. As far as my poetry is concerned, I've written about 50 poems so far. And I'm really thankful to Passions of Poetry for recognizing a couple of my poems when I was at the early stage of my poetry writing journey. I also have a YouTube channel on poetry, which is called panorama_poems. And I would keep on adding more videos on my YouTube channel and work towards the passion that I have for poetry. Once again, I'd like to thank all the fellow poets and Annette once again to you and to the team at Passions of Poetry for organizing this event and for continuously encouraging poets like us. So over to you, and really thankful to all of you.
Thank you very much. It's marvelous to have you all. So, in closing, I do want to mention the Passion of Poetry on Facebook. I have started a while back, a year or so ago, a standalone website called Pop Star Poetry, which I publish poets' works. So, all of the attendees today are invited to send me, and I will share the email with you later, uh, um, a poem of yours to the email as well as a picture and a bio so I can publish you on that site if you so desire. So I will send that information to you later. Very much appreciate all of you and am very blessed to have you present here today. And anyone that's watching, thank you as well. Please share the video with others. Those who are going to be around about 45 minutes, I'll be back for it's on YouTube, but I'll be back for session 2. That should be wonderful as well. But love and blessings to you all. Thank you so much for being a part of this and for promoting poetry. And toodles. Bye,
Thanks a
y'all.
lot. Bye.
You're welcome. And thanks, anyone and everyone, for joining us. Have a blessed day and keep sharing poetry so we can keep it alive. Take care, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.